Here's the question everybody wants to know. It's if you don't use the funds for your employee, talk us through your opening plans.
So
but are you going to be on the hook for paying it all back? That's my burning question.
So right now, just to be clear, our plans are not on hold. We've increased our hiring roles by 100 people in the last 4 weeks. So we believe that because we waited from way back in April, and didn't exhaust the funds, we now have a chance to be successful for another 70 years. That's what I said then, and that's what I'm going to say again today. So we want to put this company back together. It's literally like starting over. So we reopened our Brooklyn restaurant 3 weeks ago. We're only allowed to do takeout and bakery. And everyone must, we can't have any sit-down dining in New York City yet. It's not allowed.
Right.
So everyone's got to keep in mind, in different parts of the country, different small businesses need the ability to handle this as a local business, because that's what we all are. And so in our community, sit-down dining, we can't even do. So the fact that we've got 100 people back to work, to me, is great. So it also depends on the location. So our store in Brooklyn has a local community there that we believe is, we're doing decently, I'll say, with the takeout and bakery. We have two stores in Times Square. If you went to Times Square lately, I don't know if you've been lately, Kelly or Bill.
No.
It's pretty desolate, and it's not as great as it will be when it comes back, and I fully believe everything's coming back.
Not a lot of cheesecake there right now, that's for sure, yeah.
Alan, my question was just going to be to understand kind of where you are in this journey. So you had furloughed, I think we said 650 workers or so at the time. You've been able to hire back about 100 of them. Not all the money, obviously, that you took had to go to payroll. They loosened up the rules a little bit so it could go to rent and some other expenses. But
So far, we haven't made any rent payments. We've only used it for labor and our employees. And as I said, we still reserve some. Each one of these loans is done to a different restaurant. They were all separate entities. And so our Brooklyn one is using the PPP funds currently. Our next store, our 45th Street store, will come online next, and then 49th Street. And then we're still waiting for our hotel up at Foxwoods to reopen. We're not even allowed, we don't even have the optionality to be open there yet.
Yeah. So you think you're in compliance then? In other words, that you're not going to have to pay back this money? And when are you going to kind of fully reopen?
I think we're not fully aware. I think the rules are still being thought out. I don't think anyone knows all the definitive answers. But if the government is not allowing us to provide service and to be open, I mean, to me, it seems that we're complying because we're doing what we have to do. We can't go break the law to use the PPP funds.
Well, bottom line, how much did you get? PPP total?
We got a range of loans from $600,000 up to $1.9 million. The total was about $5 million.
And if it's determined that you weren't in compliance, in other words, it's going to be a loan, it won't be a grant, you're fully ready to pay that back. I mean, let's face it, it's only 1%. So this is like a cheap line of credit right now, right?
None of us. Well, it's a cheap line of credit, but if I told you, Bill, today I would ask you to invest $5 million in a restaurant business in New York City, you'd probably tell me, you'd say goodbye. The truth of the matter is it's a risky bet right now when people aren't buying what we're selling. Until people are in a space where they're comfortable gathering together, the restaurant business is going to see challenges going forward. It's just the way it is.
Are you rethinking your business model then? I mean, who knows how long this is going to go on? Well, and even with the amount of business you're doing right now, you're still not making any money.
There's no money to be made.
You want to be in business for another 70 years. Are you going to have to change the business model and how you interface with your customers?
I have two answers to that. The first answer is you're correct. No one's making any money in this revitalization period or this rebirth period. We hope to get back to where we were once before. I'm thankful that we have a direct-to-consumer business, which is very strong. We have a wholesale to grocery business, which is extremely strong right now in this environment because people are filling their pantries more frequently. And what better thing to do with than a cheesecake, right, Bill?
Yeah.
So I'm fortunate, but we're just going to be really smart and really thoughtful as we bring people back online. We want them to be fully employed. We want them to be fully employed for the balance of their careers with us, not for 2.5 months. I said this months ago. We want this to be a slow build back to 100%, with
Alan,
everyone's safety in mind.
You sound very optimistic to me. So we've spoken with a lot of different restaurateurs, including Tillman Fertitta in the last couple of weeks, who's almost despondent. I mean, granted, he's in Texas right now. You're in New York, and we're kind of a few months ahead of where they are. But explain to me your confidence and why you're so sure that you've gotten through the worst of this.
My confidence is, I'm the guy who in a 3-foot snowstorm would open his restaurant. And in this case, I've decided to be much more methodical and much slower, because what Tillman's probably referring to is this opening and closing could be the death knell of restaurants in this country. So I think when people are buying up food and then you throw out $100,000 worth of food, it's the end of you. So you have to be really slow and really take your time. And I got to be honest, the PPP, if used properly, will save the industry. But all this yelling, at the beginning about there's not going to be enough money, now there's 160 billion left. Some people might say we would have been better taking the loans now, because that 24-week forgiveness would carry you through the holidays.